Until very recently, I used to always feel very guilty about not completing things on my to-do list. I used to always feel very unhappy even though I've completed the list of things on my to-do list. If this seems like someone like you, today's video is gonna be super useful for you. Let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Praveen Ramesh, and on this channel we speak about non-fiction books, and I also speak about lessons that I am personally learning and implementing by reading these books. I find it immensely useful. I hope you do too. So today's video, as I said, I'm going to be speaking about one lesson that I picked up from this book called Make Time. Right, so it's one of those books that changed the way I looked at productivity, and I'm going to talk about this concept called daily highlight. Right, but before we get started with what is daily highlight, what does a good daily highlight look like, how does it help you and things like that, it's kind of important to understand that why you always feel unhappy or why you always feel a bit underwhelmed even though you have completed things on your to-do list. So here is the thing, right? So it's first important to understand why you're unhappy, and as I speak, I'm just gonna peek into my notes because I'm pretty new to this YouTube journey, so I can't smash it all at one go. So yeah, so why do you need a highlight of the day? So we are constantly busy, right? So in today's world, there are innumerable apps, and you need not go far or wide to get distracted. Your distraction is right in front of you, or probably at times in your hand itself, with a lot of apps and a lot of social media platforms, a lot of other apps that are always wanting to pull you in, lure you in with their algorithms, right? So that's number one reason where you're constantly in this infinity pool of things. That's what the author calls them, infinity pools and busy bandwagons. And you're constantly thinking, okay, I have to do something, I have to find something new, as a result of which you're always pretty busy, right? And second thing, while we are kind of lost on our phones or on any platforms through our laptops, mobiles and anything, we are always very reactive to how we do or go about things, right? So these are the two main problems why we always feel we don't have time to do things that we want to do, right? So let me just repeat that. One, you're constantly distracted by the app, including me. In case you followed my previous videos, you know that I'm actively trying to cut down my social media time. And second thing, you're always very reactive to get things done. Again, not just you, I'm guilty of it as well. At the end of it, I feel like I really didn't do what I set out to do today. Or at times you feel my mood has changed, or my energy is suddenly down from the time I wanted to do this, right? It's perfectly normal, and the social media apps, or any apps for that matter, while it comes with a lot of benefits, are designed to keep you hooked for a long enough time, right? So that's the reason you always feel you're kind of down. So daily highlight is that one thing that's personally helped me a lot. Probably I'll do a separate video just to speak about the different kind of daily highlights I've had. But what is daily highlight, right? So a daily highlight is that one thing that you will go ahead and protect your time, right? So let me just repeat that. So let's say you have a highlight of the day, you protect your time to get that highlight done. It could be a good 60 minutes or 90 minutes. I usually prefer 90 minutes of a highlight of the day. And at the end of the day, if you've completed your highlight of the day, you should feel like, okay, you know what, I've done enough, right? So this comes with a quick disclaimer, because often a highlight of the day could be easily misunderstood as something that, hey, should I just be doing highlight of the day and not do anything else? So this is what the common misconception about a highlight of the day is. So let me just clarify that, right? So you have a set of 10 things that you want to do. Let's take a good day at our home and office, right? Let's say you have to complete a presentation, you have to call a plumber to fix the leaking tap, or let's say you have to fix your Wi-Fi connection, you have to call a friend and then inform them about you turning up to a party this weekend, and then probably you have to write scripts for your side project, and then also publish that one blog that you haven't published for, let's say, a good 4-5 weeks, right? So as you can see, each of these tasks are important, but you basically choose what needs to be your highlight of the day. So let's say you choose doing the presentation as your highlight of the day, you go ahead and protect 90 minutes or 60 minutes to complete that highlight of the day. It doesn't mean you don't complete the other 4 or 5 things on your plate. It just means that you've protected time to complete this, and in the remaining time you go ahead and tick off all the other things in your to-do box, right? And as you keep doing this, you will get better. So that brings us to the question of how a good highlight looks like, right? A good highlight looks like, hey, what's that one thing that you want to accomplish today? Right? So that's step number one. Again, I'm just I hope you're able to see the image that I put up on the screen. This is taken straight from the book Make Time. Second thing, go ahead and protect 60 to 90 minutes of your time. And the main thing, this needs to be uninterrupted, right? So you shouldn't be having any, let's say, Wi-Fi connections, or you should, have a good headphones that, kind of insulates you from all the external noises, external disturbances. Put away your phone, put away all the notifications. It's just you and the work that you set out to accomplish that you are focusing on. And then you protect your time on the calendar and tell everyone that, hey, this time I'm not going to have any meetings. So this is what it looks like, right? That brings us to the question of how do you pick a highlight of the day, right? As I told, it's not, every day is not made the same way, right? Some days you have more important things, some day you have to, get things done that gives you personal satisfaction, some days you have to get things done because they are urgent, and that's precisely how you would go about your highlight of the day as well. So pick your highlight of the day based on three things: urgency, satisfaction, and joy. Right? Things that are urgent, that needs to be accomplished, like let's say something with a deadline at office or with a deadline at personal work. Pick them if you feel like, hey, this needs immediate attention, or something that gives you joy, or something that gives you satisfaction, right? So for example, a highlight of the day could be catching up with a friend. It need not be always serious stuff, right? Or a highlight of the day could be writing a video script that gives you satisfaction, right? Or it could be as simple as just calling all my college friends for the 90 minutes and just catching up with them on how their life is going, what is it that they have been up to, right? So highlight of the day doesn't mean that you have to only get things done. It could also be about stuff that gives you joy and satisfaction. So always remember this, right? So because productivity at times, personally, when I started this productivity journey, I felt like, okay, it was just about just getting more and more things done. But as I'm kind of practicing this more and more, I realize that, hey, I need to pick things that will make me feel happy at the end of the day. Sometimes it's writing video scripts, sometimes it's just going out with my friends and having, say, a dinner. Some days it might be just catching up with folks at home. Some days it might be, writing a presentation for office, right? Your highlight need not always be very serious, quote unquote. It could be something that gives you genuine joy, satisfaction, and at times it could also mean to something that's really urgent. So how has this highlight of the day helped me, right? It helps me be more intentional, right? So when I start my day, it's when I write my highlight of the day in my personal diary, and I tell, okay, this is this one thing that I'm going to protect my time for. So I'm very, very intentional about, hey, I'm getting this done, and I surround the other to-do tasks around my highlight of the day, right? So for example, if I'm writing a video script, I know that I have to have read a couple of books, or I have to have a couple of reference materials. So I dedicate some time for that. Let's say if it has to do with getting some household chores done, I just ensure that I have all the context before I get into the highlight of the day, right? So it has helped me be more intentional with my time. So that's the number one benefit that I have seen. It gives you a focal point. So that's the second biggest benefit I've seen from highlight of the day, right? At times, because of all the things that are surrounded by us, at times I'm pulled by most things that are urgent and not important, right? So having a highlight of the day has given me a focal point about achieving things or accomplishing things that I want to accomplish. As I said, it need not always be serious. It could be fun stuff as well, right? So for example, last week I told, hey, you know what? I'm going to just catch up with all my school friends. So I called a couple of them. I messaged a couple of them. We had a good chat for good 1.5 to 2 hours on a group call. And then boom, that was my highlight of the day. And I was very, very happy at the end of it. And third thing, it makes you really, really happy, right? So let's say you have like a set of 5 things that you want to do, and then you've accomplished your highlight of the day, you have accomplished 2 other things. You know that the 1 or 2 things that you didn't finish could go into the next highlight of the day, or you could end up accomplishing them the next day. So it has ultimately made me much, much more happier, though most times I might not end up completing all the things on my to-do list. So if you're someone who's just struggling, if you're someone like me who's struggling with accomplishing all the things on your to-do list, or you're someone who's speaking about, oh my god, I just feel very unhappy no matter what I do, just pick your highlight based on joy, satisfaction, and urgency. Protect your time to complete them, and surround all the other tasks around your highlight of the day, and do let me know how you feel at the end of it, right? So the most important thing is to get started, because there is no perfect way to get started with the highlight of the day. So I would highly, highly recommend you read the book Make Time, an amazing book that changed the way I looked at productivity. And until I see you in the next video, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off.